we are going to be starting off with Disney in our off the cuff conversation, where they are having a pretty nice summer because their live action remake of Lilo and Stitch is doing very well. And it's looking like it might be the first film to cross $1 billion at the 2025 box office. Man, oh man, it's gonna be crazy because so far we're about at $626 million as we're going into the third weekend of the theaters. Dustin, what do you think about all of this?
I think that Disney has reclaimed the throne. If you guys don't know, for like literally a decade straight, they dominated the box office. They were number one every year. I mean, just raking in money left and right. Like the other studios didn't even come close. And then they fell off. Admittingly, after Iger left, they kind of took a nosedive. COVID hit. It just kind of like, ba-doop. And they just didn't have a presence at the box office like we were used to seeing the House of Mouse have. So it is awesome that they are back, giving us what we expect them to have. They currently have the second and third highest money-making movies of the year. They're about to have the first and the third highest making money movies. So in the top five, they've got 1 and 3. Because they will by this weekend, which is amazing. And then they've still got all of the stuff coming. You know, they've still got another Marvel movie. They've still got like a ton of stuff on the thing that likely will make them money. So I think this is fantastic. I think it's odd though. You never really know what will work and what won't. You know, so like the live action remake of Snow White, nobody gave a crap. Then they're like, nope, not seeing it, don't want it, it sucked, we don't like it. And so everybody was just anticipating, well, Lilo and Stitch is in huge trouble. Disney's gonna, like, maybe they're making live action remakes of their animated films is just over. It's a bad idea, maybe they shouldn't do it. But Bob Iger, and I credit Bob Iger for this, he kept praising how good the film was. He couldn't stop talking about it, and you cannot tell me that didn't lean heavily into the decision, because in case you guys didn't know, and I'm real curious to get your opinion on this one, JLo, it was never meant to be in theaters. It was greenlit to be put on Disney Plus, and it was apparently so good that Iger just couldn't stop talking about it, that the decisions that be, along with him, obviously, because he does have the final say, just decided, why don't we just put this thing in the theaters? Which, in my opinion, was a bold move. It was a gutsy move. Now, to be fair, they made that decision prior to the disaster of Snow White, but still, even more so after the disaster of Snow White, to stick with it was a bold move, and it paid off in a big way.
Yeah, most definitely. And it was brave because they already surpassed 2025's Lilo and Stitch, already surpassed the original box
Yeah.
office release back in the day. But yeah, I mean, whoever came up with that idea, I feel like give them a raise. That is for sure. Because with it almost being there, it's right under Minecraft. It's right under that Niza 2, which was really only a Chinese film.
Yeah.
But I wanted to mention that too, because that film is actually already crossed it's almost at $2 billion, but since it's an international release, we're just talking about domestically right now. But yeah, I mean, it's really close. It's inching up so close to Minecraft. It's about 250,000 away from Minecraft
Yeah.
for overall worldwide. So that's very freaking
Which
exciting.
this
But yeah,
weekend.
I mean, you would
Yeah.
hope so,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
would freaking hope so. And especially with, I feel like it did get a lot of mixed reviews because of the little bit of creative liberties they had to do with the live action, which, in our opinion, didn't end up being bad. It was
No.
still a good movie. But yeah, you got those people, especially on TikTok, especially on social media, who were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they changed this. I can't believe they took that character out." Blah blah blah. But at the same time, you got to make it more real life. You got to make it in more current day time to where, yes, you can have a family friendly film where, all parties win at the end of the day, not where one sacrifices, right? But yeah, I definitely do believe that it will become the highest box office hit so far in 2025. We're inching up so close to Minecraft, but yeah, it is absolutely crazy because one, Minecraft was super surprising,
Yeah,
but
without
I
doubt.
I really felt like Lilo and Stitch was going to be successful. Once we saw that, I believe it was at CinemaCon, once we saw that sneak peek of Stitch, the live action version of him, I knew it was going to be successful.
And what's going to be interesting though is how that plays on other. See, I think that Lilo and Stitch is going to be nice. It's going to be the first $1 billion film, and then I do think Minecraft may or may not get there. It depends if they let it linger in like 20 or 30 screens for the next couple of months, because it's steady dropping screens every week now. So it may or may not make it, but close enough. It's at 9.8, and so I mean it's close enough to a billion. But I think that Lilo and Stitch will hold it for a little while, but I think that you're going to see other studios have success because of Lilo and Stitch. For example, How to Train Your Dragon. I think
Mm.
the live action version of that will be huge numbers thanks to the success of Lilo and Stitch. This was a beloved movie, much like Lilo and Stitch, and it's getting high praise. Everything looks good from the trailers. It looks like critics and fans are loving everything they've seen so far. And because of Lilo and Stitch doing so well, I think that is going to benefit How to Train Your Dragon. But again, like I said at the top of this, you never know. It could end up being a disaster. But I think it's gonna go the other way. I think it's gonna be good. But yeah, I like how you brought up a little bit about people attacking this movie. Because there still were, and we're gonna dive deeper into this a little bit later with the other conversation we're having between the two superhero films. But it just seems to me like there's this faction on social media that just the only purpose they have, and I want to clarify, about 45 to 60% of it's fake. It's bots that are programmed to attack things. It's not even real people. But for the faction that is, it seems like their only purpose is to tear successful things down, no matter what it is. And that is becoming highly disturbing to me because, like it or not, it is getting into the heads of these studios. They are making decisions based on the hate or non-hate that they're seeing on social media. And when you start making $1 million, $10 million, $100 million decisions based on shit from the internet that may or may not even be true, then we're getting in real trouble. That takes if you're a creator and you're out there and your project can't get greenlit because the studio chief is scared that it might get negative press on social media, what are we saying? So yeah, and like you said, the creative liberties that Lilo and Stitch, they weren't even that drastic. It just
No.
made sense to change it for live action because it wouldn't have worked in live action. It wasn't like they drastically changed the story or anything.
No, exactly. You already had one of the bad guys turning into a more bad guy. I guess a lot of people, because if a lot of people don't know or weren't around for this time, but Lilo and Stitch also have like a Disney Channel show
Yeah,
where the bad guy who is the main antagonist in the live action Lilo and Stitch actually turns into like Uncle whatever the hell.
right.
So he is kind of like a family member in that regard. So it's kind of like they figured it was canon and everybody likes to use that word now. So it's one of those things where yes, with creative liberties and with what they were trying to do, especially in today's period where everybody should win, everybody deserves to win. Like I've been seeing a lot of things about Nani going to college and leaving
Right.
Lilo with the neighbor or whatever. So that's always been a big thing on social media since this film has come out, where it's like Ohana means family, but family means I'm gonna leave you behind to go to college. Like that's been like the biggest thing I've seen, which it doesn't make sense because she's gonna go to college and then come back and be with Lilo. Like,
And
so what's
newsflash and spoilers for anybody, if you didn't stay for the post-credit scene, she comes back every night. She
yeah.
she kept the wormhole thing. She comes back to visit at night. I think I got the impression anyway that she comes back and spends the night with them before going back to so she didn't just abandon anybody. It's like, just fucking pay attention. Like, you know, you love to get out there and spoil movies for the world, but some of these motherfuckers won't even stay and watch the spoiler that says what's happening in the movie. It's like, come on, man.